Hook. In the early 20th century, hundreds of women were secretly fed radioactive substances, and the results were devastating. This dark chapter in history is known as the Radium Girls experiment, and it's a story that will leave you shocked and outraged. From the cover-ups to the tragic consequences, we're about to dive into the disturbing world of the Radium Girls. Fact 1. The Radium Girls experiment began in the 1910s. The Radium Girls experiment began in the 1910s, during World War I, when hundreds of women were hired to paint watch faces with glow-in-the-dark paint. The paint contained radium, a highly radioactive substance that was thought to be harmless at the time. The women were instructed to wet their brushes with their tongues to create a fine point, unknowingly ingesting small amounts of radium every day. Fact 2. The women were not informed of the risks. The women who worked with radium were not informed of the risks associated with the substance. In fact, they were told that it was safe and that it would even improve their health. The companies that hired them, such as the United States Radium Corporation and the Waterbury Clock Company, were aware of the potential dangers of radium but chose to keep it a secret to avoid losing their workforce. Fact 3. Radium causes severe health problems. As the women continued to work with radium, they began to experience severe health problems. They suffered from anemia, bone cancer, and necrosis of the jaw, a condition known as radium jaw. The radium would accumulate in their bones, causing them to disintegrate and leading to excruciating pain and disfigurement. Fact 4. The Radium Girls suffered from disfigurement. The Radium Girls suffered from disfigurement, with many of them losing their teeth, jaws, and even parts of their faces. They were often left unable to eat or speak, and their appearance was severely altered. The disfigurement was not only physical but also emotional, as the women struggled to come to terms with their new appearance. Fact 5. The companies tried to cover up the problem. As the women's health problems worsened, the companies that hired them tried to cover up the problem. They offered them small settlements and pensions, but only if they agreed not to speak publicly about their experiences. The companies also tried to blame the women's health problems on other factors, such as syphilis or poor hygiene. Fact 6. The Radium Girls fought for justice. Despite the company's efforts to silence them, the Radium Girls fought for justice. They formed a union and began to speak out about their experiences, demanding better working conditions and compensation for their suffering. Their fight for justice was instrumental in raising awareness about the dangers of radium and leading to changes in labor laws. Fact 7. The Radium Girls case led to changes in labor laws. The Radium Girls case led to significant changes in labor laws, particularly in the area of workers' rights and occupational health. The case highlighted the need for companies to prioritize their employees' safety and well-being, and it led to the establishment of regulations and guidelines for handling hazardous materials. Fact 8. Radium is still a hazard today. Radium is still a hazard today, and it's not just limited to the women who worked with it in the past. Radium is found in small amounts in many everyday products, from clocks and watches to medical equipment and nuclear power plants. While the risks associated with radium are now well understood, it's still a highly regulated substance that requires special handling and disposal. Fact 9. The Radium Girls' legacy lives on. The Radium Girls' legacy lives on, serving as a reminder of the importance of prioritizing workers' safety and well-being. Their story has inspired countless books, films, and documentaries, and it continues to be an important part of labor history. The Radium Girls' bravery and determination in the face of adversity have made them heroes to many, and their legacy will continue to inspire future generations. Fact 10. The full extent of the Radium Girls experiment is still unknown. The full extent of the Radium Girls experiment is still unknown, as many of the records from the time have been lost or destroyed. However, it's estimated that hundreds of women were affected by radium poisoning, and many of them suffered from severe health problems and disfigurement. The Radium Girls story is a tragic reminder of the importance of transparency and accountability in the workplace, and it serves as a warning about the dangers of prioritizing profits over people. CTA. Thanks for watching this video about the dark secrets of the Radium Girls experiment. If you want to learn more about this topic, be sure to check out our other videos on labor history and the dangers of radiation. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more educational content, and we'll see you in the next video.